Hello class, in this video we're only going to work on the variable and fixed cost tab in the Excel spreadsheet. So you need to get this spreadsheet and you need to get the cost data information. If you go to the assignment for Milestone 1, you notice that you can get the data sheet and the Excel project. So to do this part of the Excel spreadsheet, you need the operational cost data. This information looks boring, I guess, but you need this in order to do it. It's just cost information for you to run your business. So when we look at the variable and fixed cost, and all of these products that we make the collars, we make the leashes, and we make the harnesses. All the variable costs are going to be in this first area under column B, and then over here the fixed costs are going to be under column E. So what we want to do is get an idea of how much each of our products cost us to make. Variable costs are costs that you only have occur when you make one of your products. Fixed costs are costs you're going to have every month, whether you make anything or not. So fixed costs you can think of as something like, for example, rent. You got to pay rent whether you make any collars or don't make any collars. That's why it's a fixed cost. Whereas a variable cost, you only use a buckle if you make one of the collars. If you don't make a collar, you don't use up one of your buckles, and so you don't have a buckle cost. So that's what a variable cost is, something that only happens when you build one of your products. So to get this, we only have to figure out the blue areas. They gave us a few to help us, give us some hint on how this is going to be done. But we only need to do the blue areas. But we have to do the blue areas all the way down. And so, for example, this high tensile strength nylon webbing, we need that for the collars. We have $4 here, and we can see in our formula bar here how they came up with that. If we go over to our information on our data cost information, the high tensile strength nylon webbing costs us $12 a yard. For each yard we can make 3 collars. So that's why we use $12, because it's $12 a yard, and you can do 3 of them, so we divide it by 3. So then you do the same thing for the ribbon and for the buckles and for the price tags. Come over here and find that direct material, polyester ribbon and buckles, and the price tags are down here, and then see how much it will cost you to make one collar. And then it also gives us information to do the leashes and the harness. Now it's important that you show your work. So you either need to show it using a formula like you did here, or if you don't want to do that, instead you can put over here, $12 divided by, 3 to show me how you got it. But honestly, I think you should really use the formulas, because that's how you do it in the real world. Nobody would ever use calculations on a calculator because you are more prone to making mistakes. Also, you need to put in the total. So if you use the sum total here, it's going to automatically sum everything up. So if you make any changes, that automatically adds the change there. That's why we use formulas. It's much more efficient. For the fixed cost, these are pretty straightforward too. You have 3 products, and so you need to divide all the costs for the most part by 3. For example, depreciation, it says here that depreciation is $165 per month. However, you have 3 products, so you only need a third of that. The same with rent, utilities, the scissors, thread, and cording, and then you have the loan payments. You can even see they gave us a hint that they divided the salaries to the self, the loan payments. They had divided all that by 3 to show that you did a third for each product that you're making. The salaries are a little tricky, and the reason is because when you look at the salaries, notice that they're different for the collar and leash versus the harness maker. So the collar and leash persons make $16 and the harness maker makes $17 per hour. They work 40 hours per week. So if we go over here, we can see in the formula $16 an hour times 40 hours a week times 52 weeks a year divided by 12, because there's 12 months in a year. So that way you get a monthly amount for the collar maker's salary. However, remember, the harness maker doesn't make $16 a week, so keep that in mind. So once you do all this, you just have to figure out the blue ones, and then you sum up everything in the yellow. So the sum for this would include all of those, and then you can get your total fixed cost and your total variable cost. And Put that in. Make sure you show all your work in order to get full credit. If you don't show your work, you won't get full credit for putting in just plain numbers. So make sure you do that. And I'll give any corrections back in feedback when you get your work back, and you can make those corrections for the next milestone.